What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Wealthy, back with our daily Apple update video. And wow, what a day it has been for the market. At one point the Dow was down over 900 points. All major indexes were down, but one good news, and that is Apple, which is kind of a good change to see. I know the past couple of videos I've made, we were looking at relative weakness in the Apple stock, but today we could take a look at the opposite of that, and Apple kind of the chart actually looking good for a change as the market is down. So real quick, if you want to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel if you are new. I try to do these videos on a daily basis, and comment down below if you are in Apple or what you think the future for Apple could look like. Now, taking a look at the chart, let me hit the 1 day, get rid of these news, hit the 1 day on Apple. As we could see, we were up a penny, 0.01%, with another 7 cents up after hours, but that could change, which isn't something typically to be super happy about. But when we take a look at the major indexes, with the NASDAQ being down 1.5%, and that's not even the worst, right? The worst was it being down a lot more than that, right? It had a little bit of a run off the lows at the midpoint of the day. Then we take a look at the Dow. It's down 625 points, as I said earlier, down almost 900 points at one point. And then taking a look at the S&P, again down 2%. So compared to all that, right, it's not bad that we're flat. At least we're not down. At least we're not in this sea of red, right, everywhere in the market today. And so before we do that, let's take a look at why kind of we are red. So I mentioned this in my previous videos, but there's sort of risk factors that we were talking about, one of which is the stimulus package. And at this point, the election is just about a week away. And so are we seeing something? Probably not. It could happen, but probably not. And I think people are starting to realize that, which is being priced into the market. And then the other thing is, I think we recorded the highest day. Let me see if I can find it here. The number of cases we had Friday was like one of the highest we've ever had, which is, definitely not a good sign. Yeah, so the US had a new high on Friday with more than 83,000 cases reported. Definitely not a good sign as we move into kind of the flu season, and Corona kind of teaming up, which is not great. So I think that uncertainty, as I'd mentioned in my previous videos, is what caused a lot of this sell-off. And then, this week just being the week before the election, I think a lot of people are also going to be a bit more risk averse than they typically would be. Now, getting back to the Apple chart, what we see is we gap down, right? So we gap down into the 113s, 113.70, but I was really happy to see how quickly it pushed up. I thought we were going to make a push towards VWAP. We didn't. We continued pushing up all the way in the mid 116s. And then we pushed down, broke VWAP, and then we saw a lot of selling off happening, right? All the way to the high 112s, which was kind of the down point, and then we pushed up, broke VWAP again, and then ended the day kind of strong. So two things. Again, the relative strength Apple had today was great, as something that we want to see, especially as this week is earnings week. And then the other thing is the way it closed, right? So it broke below VWAP. It could have just as easily continued downward, towards this high 113s levels that it had sort of bounced off of twice before, but no, it reversed and found support right there. As you can see, this was kind of, resistance, because it hit it once, hit it twice, the 114.35s, and then was able to break through it, broke below, went above. That strong close is something that I really, like seeing in the stock. Taking a look at some of the moving averages and moving that over to the day, what we see here is the 20-day is 116.95 and the 50-day is 117.43. As we can see, we are way below that because of the drops that we talked about last week. So hopefully, we can make a push towards the 20 and the 50-day moving average line. But just to kind of get rid of this and draw this, right, we've drawn this line. And if you're someone who watches my videos on a daily basis, what we've done is, I think we started around here, and every day we can kind of take this dot and move it over, and the line still fits perfectly. And what that means is we are making lower highs, right, typically on a daily basis. However, one thing that I talked about in my video that I made yesterday, taking a look at the future of Apple stock, is what are our resistance points? Our resistance points, since we are making these lower highs, are the highs of the day before, right? Other than some other technical indicators you could look at in the moving averages and the EMAs, and tracing back, the easiest sort of kind of immediate resistance points that I'm personally looking at are the previous day's highs. which if you go here and you could see the overall high and low close over here. But if we take a look at the high today, it was 116.55. If we go over here, the high was also 116.55, meaning we were able to make it to yesterday being the last trading day, Friday's highs, but we're not able to break through it, right? So if that's something that, you had kind of, taken from my video yesterday, you would have been able to watch out for that. If it does break 116.55, which was yesterday's high, then I'd be looking at the high from the day before, which was 118.04. Then it would be 118.71, 118.98. Again, I'm not sitting there and sort of going, oh yay, it made it over that point, we're kind of clear, right? But that's just, hey, if we're approaching that 116.55 and it's yesterday's high, you're looking for an exit point, it might be a good idea to see if it goes through that or if it bounces off of that. If it bounces off, you kind of get an answer. If it keeps going, we've kind of broken through it, right? Now, taking a look at some of the, but the key thing is we did not set another high today. So depending on how tomorrow trades, right, with the earnings only being 3 days away, will kind of determine how the rest of the week is. If we are able to make highs, and again, that's very dependent on the overall market too, right? Apple is a stock trading in the general market. It can have the greatest of earnings, but if we see another sell-off, right, Apple is not going to be immune to that. So taking a look at the EMAs, what we see is another thing to look at is, we bounced off of yesterday's highs, right? But the EMAs that I always talked about sort of acted as, a resistance point as well. So if we take a look here at my EMAs, what we see is the 8 EMAs at 116.29 and the 116.49 and the 21 EMAs at 116.54. Our high for today was 116.55. So, that 21 EMA, you can argue that it kind of held as resistance as well. A lot of people saw that as like a take my profits and I'm out of this trade, especially since it rallied from the 113s to the 116s today. That's a quick, couple bucks for someone who just picked that up at the open. So just something to keep in mind. As I said before, and kind of validated today, we have good support down here in the 112.72, basically that 113 area, plus or minus like 20 cents. So we've got the 55 EMA at 113.42. We've got this horizontal line that I drew way back and it's kind of been there as resistance point, right? If I just get rid of the indicators now, it's kind of held up as support here late September, and also early September. 112.72, which also kind of validates the low point we had today of 112.88. Good bounce off of that. Again, it's not perfectly 113. I have a horizontal line at 112.72. We verbally talked about 113, and then I have one in the 113, the 55 EMA, which yesterday was at 113.36 and then 113.42. I'm sorry for getting like super technical for those of you that maybe aren't as technical, but I just want to kind of go through the reasoning behind why I'm saying what I'm saying. So yeah, we've got good support in the 113s plus or minus a little bit, and then our resistance points are going to be kind of the highs of the day before. So the high we set today or the high we set Friday being the same, to kind of points to look out for on something that we could kind of make a push towards, and hopefully, assuming the market is strong, we could break out of that. Now, we did have a huge drop today. That could mean we have a little bit of a gap up tomorrow, and then we'll kind of see if there's uncertainty. We might see a sell-off. If there's kind of optimism in the market after the huge, sell-off today, then we could see it going up. But we could just as easily sell off, right? A lot of things right now are very uncertain. Coronavirus is on the rise. Stimulus probably isn't happening for a while. And then vaccine news is kind of what we're waiting on. So if we see any, hey, we're having a delay on a vaccine, right? Which is totally normal actually, right? Totally normal to have delays. It's actually good that they're testing everything and fixing all the problems, but that could be another bad news for the market. So if you are trading this week, be super careful. Make sure to lock in your profits. If you are able to trade green, great. If not, make sure to just control your losses as we trade through kind of these uncertain times, and the election being next week. So hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, drop me a like down below and subscribe to my channel. Share with anyone who you think might be interested, and comment down below if you are in Apple. I know a lot of you that we chat on a daily basis, and we're looking for Apple to go up. So hopefully, the rest of this week, although uncertain, will be better for Apple as we sort of push through to earnings. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.